You may have noticed that the narcissist refrains from having sex with you. They deliberately hold themselves back or abstain from sexual impulses or action, or they show no interest in it at all. Maybe they prevent it from happening, or they avoid you completely, and it leaves you wondering why. Because there was a time when they used to want it. There was a time when you would make love all night. Or at least, you viewed it as love. You viewed it as deep affection, intense attraction, and a profound sense of attachment. You experienced it as romance, connection, intimacy, passion, while for them, it was more about control. It was about maintaining authority, power, or decision-making influence over your actions, thoughts, and emotions, until they didn't have to do it anymore. And why didn't they have to do it? Because they already had you hooked. You were already emotionally invested in them. And narcissists are not interested in connection. They're only interested in the pursuit, in chasing or achieving something. So once they know they've got you right where they want you, and they know you're not going anywhere, and everything is predictable, they already know how things are going to go. They lose interest. They get bored. Because they can't want what they already have, what's already within their possession, what's already under their control. That causes them to lose desire and interest. And then they shift their focus and attention onto something else. Because they're driven by envy. They're scrolling on their social media feed. They're constantly looking at what other people have got. And they idealize these things. Because the grass always looks greener on the other side of them. They never want what is right in front of them. No matter how great it may be, no matter how beautiful you are, they won't appreciate it. When they first targeted you, it was like they didn't want anyone other than you. But now they've got you, it's like they want anyone but you. Anyone else looks shinier, fresher, newer, more appetizing, while you just look dull, unexciting, uninteresting. And it may not be so fun for you anymore, because you've already seen the mask slip. You know what they're really like. But you hold this cognitive dissonance, these two conflicting beliefs, where on one hand, they appear to be a horrible, mean person who only cares about themselves. But then, you remember the false self, the character they displayed to you at the beginning, when they actually used to make an effort with you, when maybe they would shave their beard or their legs, they would make time for you in the morning or evening, they would light scented candles, and everything seemed romantic and intimate. But now, even when you try to make an effort with them, even when you try to get them in the mood, they shun you, they push you away, or they just treat it like a joke. Or they may even deliberately do something to kill the mood, to spoil the atmosphere, vibe, or emotional state of the situation. It's like now, they always have to be a buzzkill, and you can't understand why. You question your own attractiveness. Is it because I don't have blonde hair? Is it because I need to lose some weight? Because you see that they're checking out other people of the opposite sex in public. Maybe they're looking at pictures of Instagram models. Maybe they wait for you to fall asleep just so they can watch porn. And it makes you wonder, why can't they see me like that? Why am I not desirable to them? Why can't they love and appreciate me like they did before? And it is partially because you've become familiar to them. They've gotten comfortable with you. To the point where they could just kick their feet up on the table and even fart around you. They don't feel the need to manage your impression of them anymore. But this isn't really to do with your attractiveness, although changing things up might help. And it could cause them to re-idealize you to some extent. But a big part of this is actually to do with their own insecurities, because you've got to question why they even presented a false character to you in the first place. It's because, deep down, they're the ones who feel unattractive and unlovable, and they may even be projecting this onto you, which is why you now feel that way. But they don't need you to love them anymore. That's what new supply or acquaintances are for. People who don't know what they're really like. But for you, it's more about devaluation. Putting you down to make themselves feel better. Elevating themselves at your expense. Because this provides them with validation, superiority, and control. But they know you don't really want them. They know you just want them to play a role. And many times they will deliberately withhold that from you, because that is their supply. And it's consistent. It lasts for a very long time. While if they were to have sex with you again, it may only last for a short time, and then once that desire has subsided, you would wake up. Because sex is meant to bring you closer together. While having sex with a narcissist tends to expose what they can't give you or what they're missing. They targeted you initially because they viewed you as ideal. They viewed you as something greater than themselves, something that was going to complete them. And they played a role in order to secure you as their source of supply. But as time went by, cracks began to show. They began to expose their true character, and they began to feel less than you. To the point where withholding became their default coping and defense mechanism. It made them feel superior and in control. So we've talked about what makes narcissists avoid sex. Now, what can you do about it? How can you get them to want to have sex with you again? As I mentioned earlier, envy does trigger their desire. They want what other people have. They want whatever feels out of reach or difficult to obtain. They crave the forbidden fruit. It makes them feel alive. But there is one other thing that really sparks their desire, and that is jealousy or perceived competition, because underneath the confidence they're actually deeply insecure. So it makes them want to regain that sense of control over you. If you make subtle changes to your appearance, and you become more confident and independent, more emotionally detached, and other people begin responding positively to you, it may make them suddenly become more sexually interested again, and they may become more affectionate and more attentive. But you do need to be very careful, because jealousy can sometimes cause a narcissistic injury, to where they may feel deeply rejected, humiliated, replaced, or publicly challenged, which may lead to passive-aggressive behaviour, emotional withdrawal, rage, control tactics, accusations, or attempts to destabilise you emotionally. So if this happens, you need to stop trying to get them to love you. Because love has nothing to do with provocation, criticism, or emotional games. And it reveals that they are more attached to control rather than genuine connection. So instead of constantly trying to manage their reactions, trigger desire, or avoid upsetting them, you need to shift your focus back onto what real love actually feels like. Because it shouldn't feel like this. Real love brings peace, emotional safety, consistency, support, and mutual care. It does not require psychological strategies just to receive basic affection. So if this is happening to you, stop asking, how do I make them love me again? And start asking, why am I accepting a relationship that drains my nervous system and makes me feel emotionally unsafe? Because the more you reconnect with your own self-worth, boundaries, health, purpose, family, and emotional stability, the less attractive chaos becomes. And eventually, you stop chasing intensity and start valuing peace. Are you experiencing intimacy problems with the narcissist in your life? Let me know in the comments below. You are not alone. For more resources on narcissistic abuse, check out my website. It's narcsurvivor.co.uk. I greatly appreciate your donations, no matter how small. You can donate by going to paypal.me/narcsurvivor. Like the video, subscribe to stay updated, and I'll talk to you soon.